Hello. Here we are.
Hi.
Shelly, thanks for joining me today. And for anyone watching, just a quick introduction. Shelly is part of our virtual classes in the morning. She's been tuning in for most of the pandemic, which has been awesome. It's been a really great experience to have people in Raleigh taking my classes like normal, but then Shelly gets to tune in from Alabama. So super cool. But you're here today because you contacted me and you were interested in a new program that Folk Fitness has put out for 2021, Scrappy Wellness, which is meant to be virtual coaching for nutrition and for exercise, sort of the whole package, working on sort of these very integral wellness components. And you called me and I know. That sounds super fancy. It didn't mean for it to. Kind of like I was trying to make it super fancy. No, but you called and you said, hey, I got some questions about the program. And I said, hey, can we record you asking me those questions because other people might have the same questions. So
exactly. And I said, yes, after I have a day to prepare for my role as human woman, in the words.
Yay. Well, you're doing a great job there. I could tell that you are in fact a human
First time in how long has the pandemic been going?
Exactly.
My hair.
Exactly. Okay, so Shelly, hit me with your first question. What do you need to know about Scrappy Wellness?
Well, my main question, I guess, is just what specifically does it look like for example, the recipes, the meal planning?
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Kind of detailed it, but like when I join, what does it look like? What do I get?
Okay. Got it. And I, for sure. And I think that's a big question for everybody because the whole like recipe part of this whole thing really came out of a personal selfish need that probably all caregivers who are the ones responsible for making dinners have. And that is finding food to cook every single night that is some part, a balanced, healthy meal. Mm-hmm. And then some other part, the people in my house will actually eat this food.
Right.
And that's tricky. So I've spent years, like all of us have, looking for those kind of recipes. And for this program, what I did was take all of the recipes that I have really found in our own personal family's experience to be tried and true, that they may not be the absolute 100% picture of health, but what is that exactly? And to be honest, the absolute 100% picture of health is not going to help anybody if no one's going to eat it or prepare it. So I found the recipes that work for my family, and I've set them up into a schedule, like a weekly schedule it's 2 months worth of recipes. For our family in particular, we have found that dinners are often the linchpin to sort of making the rest of our meals work. Breakfast is pretty standard. We have sort of a very small series of foods that people rotate. Yeah. And then and so that we can sort of play with the health of those with those recipes in a different way. And then our lunches often, in part at least, are dictated by our dinners. So the dinners for us have been the big clincher.
So the recipes are dinner recipes.
The recipes are dinner recipes as far as like the 2-month plan. But I also have included sort of a stock series of easy, balanced breakfasts, and then some go-to lunch ideas as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
The options for breakfast and lunch, and then specific recipes you can use for dinner to choose from.
Correct. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And then those are linked to sort of where I found them originally, if that exists, if it's not my own personal creation, because I'm not the chef. I just like to find the chefs and use what they have. But then I also have tried to include tips, where it's like, okay, so this is a really great way to make teriyaki from scratch. If you don't have time to make the teriyaki from scratch, and it's like between that and pizza, get a bottle of teriyaki. You know what I mean? So it's so that there's options based on the time that you have.
So like ideally this, if you need to this,
Yep.
and last resort this way.
You've got it. That's
Oh,
really the whole idea of Scrappy Wellness is that it is set up for real people moving through 2021, and we're just trying to, the overall goal, more than being perfect for a short amount of time, is to find ways to incorporate these more balanced, healthier ideas into our lives for good.
yeah,
So that's what we're looking
sustainable.
for. Yeah. And so we're doing that on the food side, and we're also doing that on the exercise side as well.
Okay, so let's kind of jump to that then, because I
Okay.
saw in the email that you sent that you said there's, I think it was 5 minutes a day of movement.
Yep.
Okay, so can you just speak to that for a minute and clarify the
Yes.
details of it for me?
That's a good question.
Okay.
So 5 minutes a day, if you're familiar at all, well, I know you are familiar with the holiday challenge. If other people watching were as well, in the holiday challenge, I asked everyone to move in some way for 10 minutes a day. And so what we're trying to do there is to just build in a mindset of consistency. Every day I move, and that this becomes the norm. That's what we're trying to do, is change our habits so that when we're not moving or not exercise, that's when things start to feel off, right? So what Scrappy Wellness does is it takes that same idea, but then it builds on it a little bit, because instead of just saying move somehow, it's going to say, okay, so in a more structured way, there's going to be days that you've got a strength workout, the days that you might have a higher intensity workout, a lower intensity workout, a more cardio based workout, so that there's more of a mix. But like you said, every workout is structured so that it can be done in only 5 minutes. So what that means is, if you have only 5 minutes, and most of us, I think most days we could say that we do, then that's all you do. And if you are ready to do more, then you can easily move that forward by repeating it 2 or 3 times. And then you've got, a longer workout for yourself.
Okay, sorry. My end froze up for just a second. Am I
Okay.
okay?
You're
Okay.
good. You're there. I see you. So I was just saying, you've got kind of a mix of different styles of training.
Right.
And
The cardio, strength, hit.
yeah, so yeah, you heard that. So it's only 5 minutes. If you have more time, you can lengthen that out really easily. But if you don't, it still allows you to just begin to build in that mindset of consistent exercise on a
Okay.
daily basis. Yeah.
Okay. And you know what my life looks like, Nikki. We have very similar lives at this point. We both have young daughters. Our husbands work. So, I mean, you are a lot busier than me, but still, I feel like it's hard to find time during the day to meal plan, to exercise, and to make, consistent, healthy choices. So,
Right.
knowing what my life looks like, do you feel like this is something that's going to put me on a path to consistently be healthier? I mean, that's kind of like my goal, is just to find
Right.
small things that I can do that don't take a lot of my time or a lot of huge changes or sacrifice at this stage, but that can kind of turn me toward a path and help me build the habits to, be healthier a year from now or 5 years from now. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. And I would say that's 100% the goal.
Okay.
That's
It
what we're
reads
going
like
for.
that.
Hmm?
Okay. That's how it reads. But that's why
Yeah.
I called you for details, because you do know the pace of my life and it can be kind of busy and chaotic. And I just want to make sure it's something I can actually follow through on.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
And I would say that's 100% the goal. And in fact, like, I think there's checkpoints all throughout it where what I'm trying to do is build in a chance to say, hey, this is the ideal, so that we all know what we're going for. Like, for instance, in an ideal world, we're going to strive to have at least 5 fruits and vegetables a day, with an emphasis on vegetables, right? That's the ideal. And if we don't know that, we might have one a day and think, score, we did it, right? But that doesn't mean that the program is going to force you to do that every day for 12 weeks or you failed. What we're going to start with is say, okay, that's your ideal, but where are you right now? And now, so your goal for the next week is one more, right? If that's what we're working on in that week.
Okay.
I'd also say because this is where I am too in 2021. We are all exhausted and just working to maintain some level of normalcy in our lives. And, a number of years ago, I did another online nutrition program called, well, it doesn't matter. It was with a different company. And it was phenomenal. I mean, it's like detailed. It has all the nutritional information you'd ever want in your life. But to be honest, because it was so much, it got very overwhelming very quickly for many people. And this program is ideally meant to not do that. It is, I would say, one part knowledge, because there's things that you got to know to make sure that you're not sort of sabotaging 99% of your effort with that 1% that's just going to kind of blow everything out of the water.
The wine.
So one part, yeah, the wine, yeah. Alcohol. It's not just that, but yeah, I mean, you said it first. No, but so one part knowledge, I would definitely at least one part support and accountability. Okay. And then the two parts, or the double of that, is just the practical application. Hey, let's get in a group and practice these things every day. And at the end of 12 weeks, is it going to be perfect? No, it's going to be scrappy. But hopefully, we get to 12 weeks and we go, you know what? I'm down the road a little bit further. I've got some more tools. I've got some more practice, and I have a better roadmap of where I want to go. Yeah.
Okay. Because I saw that you mentioned group. It wasn't meetings, but it was like a video chat.
Yes. So that's kind of part of the knowledge component. You can look at this in two different ways. It's the same thing, but you could call it Nutrition Masterclass, or you could call it Wine and Wellness Night. And
I'm going to go with option B.
Okay. So depending on what sounds better to you, certainly you're welcome to show up with a glass of wine and listen. But if it sounds better to you to call it a masterclass, you can do that too. The basic idea is there's going to be 3 different webinars that I'll be giving over the course of the 12 weeks, and they'll be recorded. So if you want to, if you can't come, but you can watch them later, that will be easy to do. But it will be a chance for me to just say, hey, we're going to talk about, one of the big, huge building blocks of healthy eating is getting enough fruits and vegetables, getting enough fiber, right? And
according to your pantry.
According to my pantry, but no, I would actually not. I wouldn't necessarily count that. Certainly not as a vegetable, but yes. So getting enough of sort of knowing what amount you're shooting for, at least to have a ballpark idea, right? And so having that webinar will be a chance for me to start out by saying, okay, this is what I want to tell you. And then at the end of that, we get to just have a conversation about it. So you get to come with your questions. You get to come with like, how's it going? Or saying, hey, look, I'm eating this meal. I wanted to share it with everybody because I thought you'd like it too, so it can become, the second half becomes what we want it to be.
Okay. Yeah. And you said 12 weeks. Is it 12 weeks or 8 weeks?
It's 12 weeks.
It is 12. Okay. So it's 3 months. For some reason in my mind, it was 2 months.
2 months of recipe planning, because the last month, oh, you got me. The last month you get to work on your own meal plan. Dun, 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 how about that?
I see you're sneaking in homework. I'm glad I got ahead of that now. I'm a slacker by nature.
Yeah, now you found one of my surprises there.
Okay.
All right. I better turn this off before you catch me in anything else that I'm planning. I'm just kidding.
Okay, that sounds good. All right. I think that's it for me.
Thanks, Shelly. So thanks for letting me record you. I really appreciate that. And I'll see you in class tomorrow. Okay,
I'm sore.
Oh, good. That's
my arms and my back.
Yeah, every trainer has a little bit of yes. And we shouldn't, because soreness is not a sign that you've been working.
Don't say that.
But
I pride myself on my soreness.
It does kind of feel good. Yeah.
I'm sore.
Yeah. All right, girlfriend. Well, thanks again, and see you tomorrow.
Okay. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.